Bowser has been thwarted time and time again by our mustache hero. But there's times when he has flat out just died and still somehow lived. For those who played New Super Mario Bros., you'll remember that this is when Dry Bowser was created. He was formed by Bowser burning away in the lava and leaving just his skeleton behind. Despite this gruesome occurrence, Bowser was still alive and well in his skeletal form. We of course fight him later on in the game, and he ends up making a full recovery due to a magic cauldron. But the concept of a zombified Bowser was always interesting to me. And that's why today I want to show you sort of how I created my own zombie-esque Bowser by messing with some things in Super Mario 64. A Bowser that's capable of raising from the dead, but has some strange quirks to go with it. So all this started primarily because I've been experimenting for a new type of challenge video I was hoping to tackle relatively soon. And because of this, I've been checking out how levels change under the influence of water. So for example, Bowser in the Dark World is a level that normally doesn't have any water, or at least in the playable range in which a character can interact with. However, adding water to this environment grants us the ability to swim immediately to the top. Nothing too profound takes place here, although there are a few neat discoveries here and there. Enemies in the distance, like Goombas, immediately explode once they get into Mario's range since they die from being underneath water. So that's kinda neat. That means the mystery Goomba would even die from this. But I digress. Let's get to the Bowser area. When fighting Bowser in his first stage, he only has a few different options for attacking. He can breathe fire and he can jump. When we submerge the stage though, some interesting things happen. For one, if we enter the level with the water level set up high, we don't land to talk to him. The cutscene plays out normally, but it's kind of funny because no one is even in front of him. If we start on the ground and then add water, Mario will warp to the surface of the water once the opening scene is over with. This is a mechanic that is shared throughout the rest of the game too. Mario always enters a body of water at the top. This is why speedrunners can utilize the tall mountain warp. But the thing is, lots of aspects of this game aren't designed with water in mind, and thus a ton of objects don't know what to do when water is present. You might have experienced this at different stages, but fire can't hurt you at all if it hits Mario when he's within water. In normal gameplay, we typically only encounter fireballs hitting us that immediately dissolve. But with Bowser, we can sit inside of his fire without having to worry about anything. But there's another aspect of this that is really neat. When Bowser breathes fire when there is water nearby, if his fire particles hit water, they actually negate their ending animation. They can no longer damage Mario even if the water is gone. But beyond that, they never vanish either. They just dance back and forth. This leads to some pretty neat visuals in this stage, as eventually they will sway enough to fall off the stage and into the black void, where they will look like Chinese lanterns in the distance. But when Bowser jumps, this is when something bizarre happens. I'll talk about this in future videos too, but one aspect of water that totally messes with characters and objects is that they have trouble switching animations. It's almost like because of the water, objects never actually touch ground if they leave it. So if Bowser jumps, he gets stuck in limbo as he slides, just staying ever so slightly off the ground. If we remove the water, Bowser can of course land. But if we don't, he slides to the edge of the stage and begins to drift into the watery void. It's actually kinda creepy. We don't want to lose him down there though, as he will fade into obscurity if we wait too long to recover him. While Bowser is in this sliding animation though, we can grab him out of it and start the throwing animation. And this is where things get interesting. So in Super Mario 64, if Mario is carrying an object and enters water, upon exiting water, he will be able to move freely with said object. I used to do this as a kid with Chuckyas on Tiny Huge Island. I'd grab the one up top, which would make Mario move slowly, and then I'd walk all the way to the top of the island into the pool of water. While carrying a Chuckya, Mario moves super slowly and he can't jump. But upon exiting a pool of water, Mario can then move as if he's carrying a simple cork box. Mobility and the ability to jump are restored. But what about Bowser? Technically, we can't carry him, but we can grab him. And it turns out, carrying Bowser functions the same way. Entering water with Bowser actually allows us to swim while holding Bowser by the tail. It's super weird looking, but it's pretty darn funny. We can even toss Bowser and grab him by the stomach. This making it look like we have Bowser as a head. Tossing Bowser into water, or even just on a thin layer of water, makes it so he squirms like a baby. He can't move or recover, and he'll basically do this indefinitely. So after messing around with this for a while, this is when I started realizing I could probably combine these strange things to break the game even further. So let's go back to where I said Bowser jumping on water makes it lock his animation. It makes him slide almost as if he's on ice. If we let Bowser slide off the stage, he'll depart into the void and eventually fade away. This fading process is when Bowser typically recovers from a missed throw from Mario. Generally, he's supposed to jump to the middle of the stage again, but if he's sliding from a jump, that means he was never thrown. So he'll disappear and be gone forever. And we don't want that to happen. If he was thrown into the water-filled void, a similar thing will happen, but at least he can recover. He'll be stuck in a frozen state until the ground is restored. But he won't be dead. Knowing this, I decided to take it a step further. Bowser in the Dark World only takes one hit to defeat, and upon defeat, Bowser falls into the middle of the stage and gives us a key. But if we walk Bowser to a bomb underwater and release him, he'll still be defeated, but things change. Because Bowser's momentum of falling onto the water is still preserved, and thus he begins sliding like he is on ice. Except he's already dead. If we approach him normally in this phase, he'll explode into a key. But because he can't transition animations, he's just sliding. And eventually he'll slide into the edge of the stage. I was thinking it would have been pretty neat to see if we could strike him with 2 bombs, but then I realized if he fell off the stage, technically the game wouldn't know any better. Bowser was in a thrown state, so he should be able to recover due to the missed throw mechanic I described earlier. So I let Bowser slide into the darkness, drifting to the bottom of the black void, never to be recovered. It's actually quite morbid watching this, because water slows down falling so much that it honestly mimics a body just sinking naturally. But that's when I heard the strange noise. It was Bowser's recovery cry. After Bowser disappeared, the noise had played, so I swam back up top to check it out. And that's when I saw Bowser strangely hovering in the middle of the stage. Except this time, he was dead. His eyes were closed, and he was just waiting for me to restore him to life. Touching him actually caused me to take damage, which was peculiar because in Bowser's defeated pose, he can no longer hurt Mario. I wasn't sure if removing the water at this point would cause him to instantly explode into a key or what, so I slowly lowered the water, and to my surprise, Bowser sprang back to life. But he was different this time. This zombified Bowser could not be defeated no matter what I tried. Because he had already technically died, the hitbox for grabbing his tail was no longer there, so that meant I could no longer initiate a throw to make him hit a bomb. Because Bowser's state couldn't change, that means he couldn't interact with the bombs in the area at all. He was an invincible, undefeatable Bowser. I couldn't die because the water granted me infinite life, and Bowser couldn't die because he had no kill switch. There was really only one thing I could do, and it was banish this zombie once again to the depths below. So I got far enough for this Bowser to jump, and I just let him freeze in place as he slid to the depths of the world. He glided over the edge and dissolved, never to be seen again. So I was left with Mario in an empty stage, with no Bowser to fight and tons of shimmering fireballs at the bottom of the ocean. And that's basically how I created a zombified Bowser in Super Mario 64. So have you ever messed around in a game to discover something strange? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, drop me a like. And with that, thanks for tuning in for this Mario mix-up. Perhaps you'll enjoy one of these videos on screen now. As always, thanks for watching guys and gals, and until my next video, cheers.